Oh, hello. We are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I am Kel McDonald, and I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com.
And I am Alina Pete, and I make comics that you can read at alinapete.com or at weargeek.com. It's been
Uh,
it's been a little bit. How's your mood today? I'm gonna draw us. What are you feeling
uh,
drawing wise?
Singing.
Singing? Cool.
Singing wise.
Oh, let's do karaoke. Yeah. We were just
Yeah,
talking about karaoke.
karaoke us. Before we went live, I was talking to Elena about
Have
postmodern jukebox.
have we ever gone karaokeing, you and me, in real life?
I don't know. Have you seen me sing Skid Row? Because that is what I sing at every karaoke. So if
I
you
have
haven't heard me
not.
sing
I
Skid
have
Row,
not.
um, I like to pick songs where I can show off.
Good. I mean,
Because
yeah,
I do know how to hit high notes and hold them for a really long time.
good.
So the opening of Skid Row with the alarm goes off at 7, like the alarm gets held for a long time and it's kind
Good.
of a high note. Um so that's why I pick it. Um yeah.
I like singing Werewolves of London because it's sung about werewolves, but also doing the awoo part is just very fun.
It's a very easy song to pick, which is why
It
I
is.
don't sing it at
Yeah.
karaoke is
It
cuz
seems
like
like
I mentioned,
your brand.
while on brand, it's not I can't show off as much.
That's true.
Um, uh, I have sung Phantom of the Opera at karaoke.
Ooh, nice.
Um,
I do
cause
like it when people
one
bust out the musicals at a karaoke night.
oh that's my entire karaoke
Yeah.
list.
Good.
All musicals all the time.
Good, good, good.
Um,
Good, good.
someone asked me once if there was a werewolf musical, and I'm like, there needs to be. There
Yep.
isn't, but there needs to be. Um, fun fact: Total Eclipse of the Heart
Yep.
was written for a vampire musical.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And is about a vampire.
Yes. Um,
Which is amazing and is one of those facts that blows people's minds.
but when
Uh,
you think about it, it's like, of course it's about a vampire,
no,
like
of
when you
course it
look at
is.
the lyrics.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like people never believe that there is a line about vampires in Tom Petty's not American Girl. Come on, brain. Nope, my brain is not giving me it. I have to look it up.
is it
It's in
Only the
Free
Good
Fallin'.
Die Young?
Yeah, Free Fallin'.
Oh, I like that. Only the Good Die Young is about trying to get a Catholic girl to put out.
Yep.
Um,
You're
as
singing
far
very
as
good in
catchy
this one.
songs go, like that's a um. There's a lot of like really catchy hair metal songs.
Yes.
Um,
That are very fun to sing at karaoke.
yeah, I really like Talk Dirty to Me.
Yep. I have a deeper alto and I like everything by Joan Jett. Very fun to sing in my
You
register.
probably Amy Winehouse is in your range then
Yes,
too.
yeah. I can do Amy Winehouse. I can do Katie Tunstall. I do a lot of Tom Petty because it's me.
Hmm. But yeah, no, my karaoke list is where the musicals at. Give them to me.
Good, good. I will do all the musicals.
Though what fucks me up is there is sometimes they change the lyrics between the movie version and the musical version, and it's I never know which version is going to be on karaoke.
Right. And you're like, God damn it. That's where you just sing what's not on the screen. 'Cause you're like, I know this
Yeah,
part anyway.
like Little Shop of Horrors, the
Yes.
dentist song.
Oh, yes.
The last
Very
verse, the
good.
lyrics have changed between the movie and the musical.
Mm.
Uh, So
There, that's us singing. Just singing a little karaoke. The
yeah.
last time I did karaoke at a con was years and years and years and years and years ago at Emerald City. There was a big group of us who all went out for karaoke afterwards, and it was so much fun, and I regret that I haven't had a chance to do it since then. But also, doing cons now with COVID is a whole different thing. And we've started to not even
Well,
go out for dinner afterwards. We're like just gonna go back to our Airbnb and cook dinner
well,
there because it's cheaper and we don't have to
we
take our
we we
masks off
can
around
both
people.
serenade Sam at
Hell yes,
San Diego
Sam.
Comic Con.
I don't know if you know about this about Sam, but Sam plays the piano amazingly.
Oh,
Uh,
I did
uh,
not know that about Sam.
yeah, he was a really good piano player, and it was at San Diego the first time I went that I discovered that. Because it was one of those years that Topatico rented an entire house and they put up all the
Hmm.
Topatico people, or at least let them buy in. I
Hmm.
think they had to pay their own share, but
Yeah.
like Topatico got a house and it had a pool and a big dining room and a piano. And I went over to go party with them one night, and Sam played piano most of the evening. It was amazing. He's very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what is a very fun song to sing at karaoke?
No.
The Pokemon theme song.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, yes. That's just a good song.
Um,
That one is a
then
straight
yeah.
up banger.
So next time you're in Portland, we should do karaoke.
Hell yes.
There's a karaoke place called Voice Box.
I've been there.
Uh,
I went there
yes.
for a friend's birthday. And I was down there one year.
Uh, when uh because I used to go a lot, I have a friend who Cat and Ron,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah. They've stayed on my couch.
So they really like Hamilton and somehow managed
Hell
to
yes.
convince Voicebox to have the entire soundtrack of Hamilton.
They
Like
are the ones.
even
K.
the little songs that like most people
Yep.
don't know,
Yep.
like
Because the birthday girl, when I was down there at Voicebox, was like, okay, we got to go to Voicebox because they have my songs. And then we got there and she sang like all of the Hamilton songs. And then I got to be Burr for most of them. It was very good.
nice.
That was a very fun birthday party. Also, they have some very nice cocktails. They got like a lychee hot sake, and it was really tasty.
Um but there's like a karaoke app that you can apparently download,
Mm.
which has a bunch of like if you don't feel like renting your own karaoke list, you can like just use theirs.
Oh, cool.
And they have postmodern jukebox songs on there.
Oh, nice. Good.
Because I did sing Gangster's Paradise.
Good. But the postmodern jukebox version.
Yeah, I also really like their cover of Creep.
Ooh, I'm not sure I've heard that one.
It's like a jazzy version.
Nice.
I have 3 different covers of Creep, but not the original.
Good. Good. Excellent.
Because I have, in my opinion, one of the best movie trailers, divorced from the actual quality of the movie, just judging it solely on the trailer. I think one of the most brilliant movie trailers was the trailer for the Facebook movie. Because it was just someone browsing various Facebooks.
Right?
Particularly while like a choir version of Creep was playing.
Oh, nice. Good. God, I forgot
So
there was a
it's
Facebook movie.
yeah,
I think I
it's all
blocked that
about
out.
how it has a really good quote at the
Really?
beginning of the movie. Cuz the movie starts with Zuckerberg on a date that is not going well cuz
Right.
he is talking at his date.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets up to leave and she says, "You're going to think that girls don't. I want to just make something clear, because you're gonna think girls don't like you because you're a nerd, but I want you to know it's because you're an asshole.
Good.
And
Very
then she
good.
leaves.
And very
And
true.
that's how the movie starts.
Good.
It is not a flattering movie. So like, and oddly enough, Mark Zuckerberg does not like the movie,
I'll go
not
figure.
because it presents him as an asshole,
Right?
but it kind of implies that he invented Facebook to impress that girl that calls him an asshole in the first 5
Right.
minutes. Because there needs to be like an arc,
Yeah, for
character
sure.
arc, so that's why they start with the girl calling him an asshole. And
Right, and then he's like, no, I'm not
um
an asshole, I'll prove myself.
well, because when he starts to make Facebook, it's about getting girls.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, because that was the whole thing. Facebook was like, check
Yeah.
on your classmates that you went to school with. Are they
Yeah,
fat
no,
now?
he's very
Like, it was
insistent
very
that
shallow.
they have the relationship status, like,
Yeah.
and that is like from the beginning. So it's kind of like
It was an awful idea. And it's evolved
it,
into an
it,
awful thing that has
it
ruined democracy, so that's cool.
yeah, so the movie kind of implies that like part of his motivation was to get girls,
Yeah.
and so
But he
that's the
claims it was
part
not
that
that at
he's
all.
opposed to,
Right.
not the part that's like, so he's a criminal and
And an
he stole his
asshole.
friend's ideas and
Yes.
he's a huge asshole, and he's
No,
an
he's fine with
entitled
all of that because he's a millionaire
yeah.
and or a billionaire, and we knew that. We all knew that.
It's one of those things where maybe he doesn't realize what's wrong with the things depicted in the movie.
Right.
Like,
Yes. It's like, this just
um,
shows how smart I was to make all this money, right? Right? And you're
yeah,
like, no, it shows that you are an asshole. She was indeed correct.
yeah. This one scene lady. So, uh,
Summarized your entire character and life at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah. So kudos to the movie making people for
Mm-hmm.
summing up, letting the audience know right from the first scene, you're about to watch a movie about an
An
asshole.
asshole. Just an
Um,
utter asshole.
yeah.
Good.
So, the other movie trailer that I think is maybe one of the best movie trailers in the history of movie trailers is the SpongeBob movie trailer.
Oh, that one's very good. I do like that movie trailer.
Because it starts with the like deep questions while panning over the ocean, and
Yes. And then it turns out to be the SpongeBob movie.
who lives in a
An
pineapple
apple
under
under
the
the
sea?
sea.
The most important question about life to get
Mm-hmm.
answered. Uh,
Oh, I know what I should
but
do. I've been struggling with this guy for a while, and I am going to
have
try.
you seen the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I have not.
If you are a partaker of musicals,
I
it
am.
is a show that you should watch. And in fact, maybe I'll just bring my laptop to San Diego
And we can just watch
and we
some
can watch
stuff.
some Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, since we're not gonna go party it up.
Yep.
Um,
We are gonna stay home and cook some food and maybe swim in that cool pool that we're gonna have access to. I like a pool. I was looking
uh,
for gender affirming swimsuits this week
I
because I don't like the one that I have currently. It's just a regular like two-piece
I
swimsuit.
don't have a swimsuit, and uh, I don't know if I'm going to acquire one before San Diego,
Yeah,
because I hate shopping.
shopping is awful. Shopping for swimsuits and or any sort of underwear is doubly so. But I need one anyway because I'm going on several other like lake trips and stuff this summer. So the swimsuits not great. But I've decided that I want like a rash guard style bathing suit, which is basically just like what if shorts and a t-shirt that you swim in.
Oh, you should link me to those, because maybe I'll just get those.
Yeah. Yeah.
cause yeah, cause I hate swimsuits.
Yep, they suck. Is that too bright? That's better.
But yeah, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is about a lady who decides to move cross country because she ran into her high school sweetheart
Right?
on the streets of New York, and is like, oh, we should hang out since you're in New York. And he's like, I'm actually leaving New York in 2 weeks because I hate it here and I'm moving back to my hometown,
Right.
which is this tiny town in California, that is not exciting at all. So it is very weird that she decided to move there. Like, if he lived in, like, LA or Seattle, she would have plausible deniability of,
Yes.
like,
Oh, I
oh,
just
I have a
happened to be
job
here.
offer,
Yeah.
where it's, no,
She just
she
moved there
moved
for
'cause
him. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's weird. It's
and
pretty
and
weird.
they're not dating, and
Nope.
that's important. Like,
It's very weird. Don't do that.
uh, and, it's very good, and, it has some very good songs, like A Fuck Ton of Cats.
Good. Good. Good.
There's a part where she's like, my love life is awful, so there's only one solution. I must buy a fuck ton of cats.
Right? Become a crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
Always,
Um,
always a option.
and then the law firm that she gets a job at, is run by a very white guy who has changed his name. I forget what he changed his name to exactly, but I know it ends in feather because he found out that he is one something
Of
percent
course.
such and such.
Cherokee,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. Everyone
Yeah.
always claims to be Cherokee.
Um and she does like almost immediately call him on it. Like she's like, "You don't think like so you just changed your name?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And it's like, "And you don't think that's weird at all?"
Yeah.
Um uh
No, I think it needs to be darker blue.
and it got a lot of praise because the dude that she's obsessed with is a very hot Asian guy.
Mm.
And Asian guys don't get to be the
No, the sexy
himbos
guy. No.
usually. Yeah. Um, so him and what's his name from The Good Place, leading the way,
Oh
sexy
yes.
himbo Asian
Oh
dudes.
my God, yes. That's a trope that is very good.
Yeah.
I do like God, everything that Jason from The Good Place does is the best. So dumb, so earnest.
So dumb. Yeah. So yeah. There's some very good it does a good job of being a really diverse show,
Yeah.
and having some very catchy songs. Like there's kind of like a 80s send up song that you might have seen on Tumblr even if you haven't seen the show,
Mm.
called Getting By,
Oh,
um because in the
yeah.
first season her boss realizes that he's bi,
Right.
um and he comes out via
The song.
musical number
Excellent.
called Getting By.
Excellent.
Um,
Good.
uh, and then one of my favorite songs is in a later season, after she has broken the hearts of several dudes, and they're getting over her. Um, one of them is a very kind of broy, upper crust, like white waspy guy.
Yep.
So he doesn't want to talk about his feelings and he decides to just work out at the gym. Um, and he comes across uh, first love interest, the Asian himbo guy's
Right, right, right.
high school friend who's gay and also spends all his time at the gym. Um, and they become friends. And because they both don't want to talk about their problems, um, gay guy, to cheer him up so he doesn't have to think about women, takes him to a gay club,
Good.
um, which, much to the gay guy's annoyance, has been infested by um, straight lady bachelorette parties.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The eventual fate of
Um,
every gay bar.
but while they're there, their frustrations build up, and then they do a Magic Mike send up song
Oh, good.
called "Fit Hot Guys Have Problems Too."
Good.
Where one of the lines is, "We're not dancing for you. It's just easier to process our emotions with our clothes off."
Good. Good.
uh, it's a very good show.
I find the swing to let's write some Asian characters who are himbos hilarious because it's like a direct refutation of the old roles that Asian men got forced into all the time, which were like Asian men,
Yeah,
they're allowed to be smart, but they're not allowed to be sexy. And now they're
yeah.
like, let's just bizarro world that, turn it entirely on its head, and be like, what if though? What if though we were dumbasses who were super sexy,
Because
sexy dumbasses?
Jason was on The Good Place
Jason
at the same
Mendoza.
time that the Asian himbo Josh was on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Right, right.
Um, there was some criticism
That they
that
were kind of the same.
both of them were Filipino, so it was
Uh,
kind of accidentally implying that Filipinos were the dumb Asians. Um, 'Cause I did see that sort of discussion start up, but
interesting.
since both of those shows are well written, like,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen that many people follow up on that, but
No, no,
also not that many people have followed up on the Asian himbo.
no. They've been like sort of the sole examples.
Yeah,
And
so
the
it's
best.
two examples.
And the best.
Um,
Oh, I actually like that now. Cool.
but yeah, I highly recommend Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's a very good show. It's also does a good job handling mental illness.
Oh, cool. That is something that TV
'Cause
generally doesn't.
yeah, cuz they talked about it in an interview, and I think that cuz they knew that obviously the main character is not okay cuz she
Yeah.
moved cross country cuz of
Yes.
a one like cuz of a 5-minute interaction.
With someone she used to
Um
know. Yeah.
yeah. And it's the show in general is kind of critiquing romantic m- rom-com tropes
Right. Yeah.
that are not as romantic as you think they are.
Yep.
But so rather than come up with a diagnosis for her, um they actually have like, well, she does have like anti-anxiety medication from the get-go. They make it a plot point later on that she was misdiagnosed.
Oh, interesting.
And so in the third season she gets a new diagnosis, and what they do um is they actually had a psychiatrist watch the show,
And then like make a diagnosis for her.
gnosis based on her behavior in the show rather
Cool.
than like backfilling
Right,
it.
right, right.
So she is diagnosed with a bipolar disorder.
Right.
No, not bipolar,
Borderline personality
borderline
disorder?
personality
Right.
disorder.
I
Yes.
think I heard about that where they were like, hey, so here's a show where they are actually like representing borderline personality disorder on TV.
Correctly, and it's because they
Yeah.
didn't start with the diagnosis, they started
Interesting.
with
I
the
didn't know it was that
character.
show. That's fascinating.
Uh, But yeah. And then it was very funny when it came out and discussing it in the Portland comics community because one of the love interests looks like a younger, thinner Steve Lieber.
Good.
So there was a lot of like,
It's just
yeah,
Steve.
the
Hi,
show's
Steve.
great, and then like the conversation died down a lot. It's like, do you think Craig looks like Steve Lieber? And then yes,
Yes, he super does. It's weird. Very good.
So
I'm
good
trying to remember,
show. I
what was the
highly
name of
recommend
the
it.
white lady who sold pot show? Was it just Weeds?
I think it might have been
I think it was
Weeds.
just Weeds. The brother on that show looks like a guy I used to LARP with, and that was a long running joke for a while.
I've also been watching Barry.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Barry is very funny, but is full of horrible people. So
That seems like a your brand sort of show.
yeah,
Right on target.
it's about a hitman
Oh,
who decides he's going to quit being a hitman and he's going to become an actor instead.
I think you were telling me about this one last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. It's almost done. And
I like the concept.
yeah, the third season's almost wrapping up. And I think his narcissistic girlfriend finally paid enough attention to him to realize he's a psycho.
Good. Yeah.
Cuz she broke up with him and then he was like sending her like getting his things from the apartment while she was there and like dropping off his key but he also like wanted to leave like her a note which is like this weird trite note like that is him being it's just really long and rambling and kind of weird um and but she comes home while he's there and she's having a bad day so he's like is it okay if I comfort you um which he then does and basically her TV show she'd been working on got canceled
Oh,
for dumb reasons
yeah.
like
The
the
usual.
algorithm says that someone needs to eat dessert in the first 5 minutes of a show like if someone does that then there's a 90% chance they'll finish the first season
Right.
And
Your
there's
show's
a
not
such and
dessert
such
worthy.
percent chance like it's all
Yeah.
algorithm nonsense
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and so then she explains all that to Barry and he's like do you want me to like do something to his producer to like get back at her for treating you so poorly and she pauses for a moment it's like what do you mean get back at her it's like
yeah.
I'd break into her house and take pictures of her while she's sleeping and mail them to her
Or something
and
like
and and,
that.
and she's like
No.
so you'd break into her house and it's like well she wouldn't know I was there and then I can do some other stuff to mess with her
It's like,
and she's
no.
like what and he goes like replace her dog with a slightly different dog change all her furniture so she thinks that she's slowly shrinking like and then she's like I need you to leave
This is not good things.
um but yeah so I think that like she finally paid enough attention to him on came out
To
of
be
her
like, oh,
narcissism
these
long
red
enough to realize
flags.
that he's a psycho.
All these red flags are here that I never saw them before. How funny.
Yeah, it turns out that when you're super self-absorbed, you miss red flags.
Yep.
Um,
What color should that one be?
what are you working on tonight?
I am working on kind of a funky project. So there's this thing where they are trying to, I think I told you about it last, where they're trying to raise awareness about indigenous harvesting practices in Chesapeake Bay for oysters.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, and
and
you drew like the oyster cycle cartoon.
yeah. They've got a couple other illustrations that they want for that too. So this one is a grandmother and her granddaughter sitting by the bay holding the soil in their hands
Mhm.
at sunset. And then there's like a funky kind of spirit effect around their hands. So it looks like they're linked.
Oh, fun.
So this will go up as another part of that educational series. And I'm just doing, they specifically did it because they were like, we want this picture because we like the Women in the Woods cover, and we want you to do that, but at sunset. I'm
Good,
like,
good,
cool, I can do that. I can do that again. I remember the effect I did for the ocean last time, so I'll just do that.
good, good. Um, I've been rewatching DS9.
Good, good choice.
I'm almost done with it. I have one season left.
Mm.
Which it's apparently coming off US Netflix July 1st,
Oh
so I
really? Oh
timed my
geez. Yeah,
rewatch
you did.
well. Uh,
I should check what it's doing on Canadian Netflix. Although Canadian Netflix, the worst. It sucks.
sounds like you need a VPN service.
I may indeed have one of those. Specifically for that reason. And so I can watch some British stuff. I like my panel shows.
Um, because all the YouTubers advertise like NordVPN or
Yeah. And you get like a
Surfshark or whatever.
15% off or whatever.
My favorite little ad for that so far is there's a YouTuber I like who she talks about like Chinese culture and Western media.
Oh, cool.
Um and she got popular because she critiqued the new Mulan and
Good.
why it's awful.
Yep, good.
But so um apparently the Chinese government has banned her IP
Right.
because she went to check like a Chinese news site.
Right.
Um,
And it was
and
like,
she
nope.
knows that it's specifically the IP of her apartment because she then checked it on her phone and it worked fine.
Oh, interesting.
So she was like, and that's why I use a
Something
VPN
VPN. Yeah,
to get around the Chinese government.
good. I haven't been watching a lot of shows this week, but I read a book series so good that I immediately went out and read the sequel and then immediately went back and reread the entire series, which never happens. It happens very rarely that I'm like, I love this so much, I must immediately reread the entire thing.
Which book series?
It is called, the first one is called Unnatural Magic, and the second one is called A Reckless Lady's Guide to Magic, and that's just a very good name to begin with. But the character in that I love the most is this like lower class lady who's hanging out with a bunch of high class quality ladies, trying to solve this crime that has to do with drug
Cool.
dealers. So she's sort of like the expert on the streets. But the dialogue for her is just all so funny, and it's from her point of view. So like her language is really good. Like she'll make up words like splendificating, which just is just very fun to say and very fun to read.
Yeah, that's a good word. A+
Yep.
wordage.
Yep. So like the book has full of all of just these phrases that I sit there and I just laugh my ass off at. Which is part of the reason why I had to go back and reread it. I read that one first, and then I went back and reread the first book because I didn't know it was a sequel. And it kind of isn't. It's the first one is its own story with its own set of characters, and then the second one is about the daughter of those characters. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, now I need to go back and reread it with that context in mind and see the new insights it gives me to sort of what those characters were up later in their lives, and it's really cool. I like that. But like some of the best language in a like Edwardian period I've ever read.
Good. I found a delightful thing online.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yes.
Someone has taken JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and run it through Google Translate.
Oh,
So it
good.
is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as translated by Google Translate. And
Oh,
then they go
good.
through and they letter the whole thing. So it's just full of nonsense words.
Excellent.
And then it's stuff like it didn't like for a while I was like, why does it keep saying things like this? And then I remembered that Dio's name means God because they keep
Yes.
having things like I must fight God or like something
Yes.
like so it's not just translating the Japanese, it's translating everything into English. So
Good.
um it is Joey's Strange Experience is
Lovely.
the new title.
Then he must go fight God.
Um it's beautiful. Joey's Strange Experience.
Good.
Um
This is a very fun concept, and I love it. I'm a sucker for
it
good, weird translations of things.
yeah, it has some beautiful pages.
Mm.
Such as Dio saying, "What are you doing to me? Do not touch my skirt." And
Good.
then drugs for kids interested, and then the first panel is this is a very healthy environment for children between the ages of 12 and 18.
Good.
Their culture includes cannibalism and serious rituals. Car, security, East.
Excellent.
It's very good. I've also been enjoying Spy Family.
Oh, I've heard that's very good.
It is very good. I highly recommend it.
Cool. There was a thread last week where there was like a person who was like, internet, what are the kids watching these days? What are the good shows, young Zennials? And that was like one of the first ones that came up always. It's like Spy
Yeah,
Family, watch it. It's good.
everyone loves Spy Family. The other hot things that the anime kids are watching, I don't know about what normal teens are watching, but what the weebs are watching.
Good.
Is a very sapphic golf contest
Ooh.
anime.
Oh, I love this already.
So they're golf lesbians.
I love golf
that
lesbians.
need to win the golf championship.
As you do when you're a golf lesbian.
With their super golf powers.
Good.
Because it's anime, so
They're the best at
nothing
golf.
like actual golf.
No. No. They have magic golf powers.
And I'm trying to think what are the other hot new animes. This isn't a new anime, it's on season 3, but it's still very popular in its 3rd season. A favorite of mine is Love is War.
Okay.
which is takes place at a very prestigious private school.
Mm.
And you have a girl whose father, she's from like a very prestigious family that like is super important to Japan and has like been involved in the business and governing of Japan for like generations.
Yeah.
And so she must like take on her family legacy and is super important. um so that's the main girl.
Good.
And the main guy is a scholarship student who is top of the class, and is always like first. And no matter what this girl does, she can't knock him out of the top place in their class.
Right.
Um, and he's also the student council president. And because they're both not very social, since he's studying all the time and she's like too important to have friends. Like
Right.
it's less of her being a snob and more she learned from a young age people were gonna try to befriend her to use her to get to her family or whatever.
Right.
Um uh so she has like issues trusting people. But so because they don't interact with other kids all that often, uh, people start a rumor that they're dating.
Oh, right.
Um and both of them have the same reaction, which is I would never, like, I guess so and so's okay, and if they asked me out,
Maybe.
I guess I would deign to date them.
Right. Right.
um and the whole show is based on the fact that if you ask someone out, they now have power over you,
Right.
so they're in charge of the relationship.
Right.
um so both of them, after having that initial reaction, over the course of a year, develop real feelings for one another, but do not want to be the weaker side of a relationship. Um,
And ask the
and
other out.
therefore,
Yeah.
yeah, therefore the other has to ask them out. So
Right.
it's them playing mind games with one another, trying to trick the other person into admitting that they like them.
Right.
Um, it's delightful because it's like Death Note, but instead of murder,
It's
it's
just,
kisses.
it's kissing. I like that a lot better. It's good.
But listen, that's what everyone wanted Ellen Light to do anyway.
Yep.
Um,
Mm-hmm. So, like, let's just lean into that. Let's just make the
yeah.
entire show that.
Uh, and it's great because the episodes are stuff like they're deciding where they're gonna go for a school trip. Um, and the uh at first the guy suggests the mountains, and the girl suggests the beach.
Right.
The guy suggests the mountains because they can be cold, and then there will be an excuse to snuggle her,
Right.
like, or like give her her jacket or
Do
whatever.
something.
Like
Do something romantic.
it's a trap for her to come to him and ask for his coat or something
Right.
like that.
If I
Like
make her cold enough, she will
um
want to ask you for it, and then I can provide.
yeah, yeah. And then I can be like, "Oh, so does this mean that you like me and want my coat in particular?" Like that is
Right.
his plan.
Right.
Um and then the girl's thought is like, if I am in a sexy bikini, I will be irresistible.
Right.
Um and then but they can't say those are the reasons why they want to go to their respective places. So
This is them pulling these like ridiculous
it
over the top mind games with each other to try and
yes,
get the other to
so
ask them
she
out.
tries to argue like, oh, this time of year, the mountains are bad because they frequently rain, so we'll get stuck indoors. Um, so, the mountains are a bad idea for that
You
reason.
definitely want to go to the beach then. Yeah.
And we should definitely go to the beach instead. And while arguing against the mountains, like, because he comes up with like explanations against that. Um, uh, he then eventually she uses the argument of like there's a lot of bugs in like those cabins that you rent from the mountains.
Right.
And he's very afraid of bugs, and he doesn't want to look like a wimp in front of her.
Right. So he's
So
like, maybe not then.
he's like, okay, we'll go to the beach. But then after they say the beach, the other girl in the student council, who is bustier than the leading lady, says, "Oh, I have to get a new bathing suit," and kind of like bounces her boobs a little bit,
Right.
like not in a fan servicey way, just to make it clear that's why her bathing suit won't fit.
Right.
Her boobs have gotten bigger, and then main girl is like, my bikini plan might backfire if so and so is also in a bikini.
I cannot compete.
And I cannot compete because my boobs are not as big. So she then is like, actually, yes, we should go to the mountains.
Good.
And then they end up just asking the girl who is also in student council to be the tiebreaker, and she's like, I think we should go to the river and look for ghosts.
Ooh.
And they're like, you're such a fucking weirdo.
Good. You should go to the river and look for ghosts. That's a good premise for an anime.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention it about the book that series that I've been reading. It is a lesbian romance. And they're both adorably awkward with each other because it's a girl who is half troll, so she's quite tall and brawny. And then of
Good.
course this like I was raised on the street kid who is also a fire witch. Because obviously there's trolls and magic in this world. And they are very, very, very awkward and don't really want to be the first to sort of like ask, are we courting? Are we not courting? Like, what's going on here? But they're both very clearly thinking about each other, and they are adorably awkward, and I love them.
Good.
Good to have a good sapphic romance in an Edwardian fantasy world.
Good. I support that. I forget if I've asked you this before. Have you read This Is How You Lose the Time War?
Yes.
It's very good.
It is.
Speaking of lesbians.
Yes. Very good series. Or a book.
Also, speaking of the gays,
Yeah. Happy Pride Month, all.
Happy Pride Month. I told you about it a few months ago, but there's an isekai anime where called Reincarnated as a Fantasy Knockout.
Yes.
And it's a guy is reincarnated as a hot girl.
Yep.
Because when he was isekai'd, he said he was sad that he couldn't get dates, and if he was a hot girl, he would get all the dates.
And now he gets to find out how that is.
So a lot of the times when isekais have a dude turn into a lady,
yes,
they're very adamant that the main character is not trans, and all of this girly shit is foreign and mysterious to them.
Right. Yeah.
Or there's something like, I will ogle my own body, and some nonsense
some
like
moment
that.
like that. Yeah.
So in this, part of why it stood out to me is he's like, yeah, I'll go ogle myself, and then is like, oh wait, this isn't
It's just
sexy, this is just how I look now.
it's just me. That's weird.
Um,
I'm not. This is
yeah,
not sexy. Yeah.
and then I've been reading the scanlations of the manga after the anime was done because I wanted to keep going. And the fun thing about this is it's apparently an isekai competition. There's 12 gods in
Oh.
this world, and each god got to isekai someone.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So
I like this as a concept.
the first person they ran into was the goddess of night.
Yep.
Isekai'd an edgelord team.
Oh, good.
Um uh because it's basically uh they get they get like powers that they want, and then they also apparently get a super weapon.
Oh, good.
Um so he is like a death destruction
Isekai,
sword.
dude. Good.
Like, yeah. The night guy, the guy who's from the goddess of the night.
Right.
It turns out the main character whose friend got isekai'd with him, his friend is his ultimate weapon.
Oh, good.
Um so uh but so they run into some other heroes, and the hero that they've just met is in the manga is the hero chosen by the goddess of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he's in the spotlight, he gets more power,
Oh, good.
basically.
Yep.
So he's a big showy attention hog.
Good.
And they recently found out that he was a teen girl before coming to the world.
Excellent.
So she is acting like an over the top um hero from she's acting kind of like the main blonde guy in Oran Host Club, if you've seen that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So she's kind of like being over the top princely guy, and clearly wants to get with other ladies.
Yep.
So after having a fight um with the best friend character, the main character had a moment that's like, oh no, my friend is hot. Um and I don't know if it's the curse or not or what. And So he's talking to another girl and is like, "Hey, have you ever thought someone of the same gender is really cool?"
Yeah.
And the girl is like, "Yeah, I think you're really cool." And it's like, "No, I mean
Not like
like
that.
your
Like,
heart beats faster when they're around, and
yeah.
like uh and the girl's like, "No." And thinks like that the
It's like,
main
huh.
character's hitting on her. Um,
And it's like,
but really, main character is like, kind of want to make out with my friend.
right. But I don't
Earlier in
know
the
how to ask
story, I
that.
had the hots for another girl, which made me think, oh, good, my sexuality didn't change.
Yeah. But now,
But now I want to make out with my friend.
now I got questions.
And it's like, did I always want to make out with my friend and just didn't realize it because we were both dudes?
What's going on
It's
here?
having this sort of conundrum
Good.
brought about by teenage girl isekai into hot dude body and is gonna get with all the ladies now.
Good. It's like, wait a minute. I have questions now. There's just a surprising amount of trans themes in this random isekai.
Yeah, but the thing is like they haven't brought up transness because
Yeah.
main characters still use he him pronouns despite being in
Yeah.
a lady's body, which
Yeah, yeah.
is
That's cool because
it's
your
just like
gender
the
and
fact
your
that they've
sexual. Yeah.
acknowledged that, like, wait, I want to kiss this dude, Did
This is
I
a new
always
thing.
want to kiss him?
Yeah. Did I
It
just
seems
not
heavily
realize?
implied that maybe they always wanted to kiss each other.
Maybe this dude
Um,
bi and didn't realize.
yeah, main dude might be bi and not realize it. His friend, um, might have been secret gay all along, and just didn't tell him and didn't want to admit it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because his friend was, you find out was apparently cock blocking him his entire life.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
he would not get a girlfriend, because he didn't want a vicious lady to steal his bestest buddy from him.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Who maybe
uh,
he likes, maybe he's
maybe he
jealous.
likes his buddy like more than just a buddy.
Yeah. Maybe that's
I mean,
actually what's going
it
on
could be
here.
that. It could also be maybe he is just a very possessive ace person
Maybe.
who um like doesn't wants like friends first. No ladies. Like no non-friends. Just wants to bro out.
I was thinking about like trans themes in anime the other day. Specifically, I was thinking about like Ranma Half and how
Mhm.
that was such good, like one of my favorite mangas growing up, and I was super into it. But I was always like, they, it's all about the martial arts and not enough about the fact that like Ranma spends half his time as a girl and still sees himself as a guy, but like as the series goes on, gets progressively fine with presenting as a woman.
Yeah.
And then at the end is just sort of, I mean, spoilers for Ranma Half, anybody who
They're
hasn't.
stuck like that. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's and by the end of it, he's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm a woman sometimes. Uh, still dude though.
Ranma 1.5 does have my favorite fan asking the author creepy questions and the
Oh
author
God.
responding story.
Yo, yes, I think I saw
Um,
that where she was like, I don't think about
yeah,
that, and you shouldn't either.
I don't think about such things and neither should you.
Yes,
The
which is
question
perfect.
specifically was what would happen if female Rama got pregnant,
Right.
and then
Right,
was
which is
turned back
creepy and weird.
into a late was then turned back into a dude, what would happen to the fetus? And
It's like, I don't spend any time thinking about that, and you shouldn't either. Good, next, please. Which, kudos, Rumiko Takahashi. That is the perfect answer, and also something that
yeah,
creators should say more often. Be like,
yeah.
no, no, actually, don't think about that. Oh, actually, I like that. That's a nice pattern. I think this one's done. I might try to put an overlay on it just to harmonize the colors, but I'm liking that. I think this is looking good.
Whereas I really like Oran Host Club. Main characters MB King.
Yup.
Uh oh, I got linked to a very good screenshot of a tweet
Oh, good.
earlier today. That was hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to get the wording exactly right. One time, a friend of mine was at a trans conference, and a well meaning onlooker asked what it was. And when she said something about queer stuff, the person said, "Oh, I thought it was a conference for short men who love tall women."
Okay.
And I'm like, that's delightful.
That's very good.
And also, uh, which side of that piqued the person's interest? Like,
Yeah.
they're just a big fan of a tall and a small.
That's just their thing. They like that. He's small, she tall.
I mean, that's partly why Quark and Gricka are my favorite hetero couple in DS9. That is Quark's Klingon wife that is only in 2 episodes.
Right.
And she is delightful and can crush him.
Excellent. Very good. Still thinking about Newt Jax.
Yeah, Newt Jax.
I
Newt
think
Dax.
Newt Jax. I think about her frequently now. I just like that design so much.
Why isn't she a Newt? That would be better.
That is so much better, and I just really, the design is just the best. Such a good
Also,
expressive.
while rewatching, like when we last talked about it, I expressed like, oh, I didn't really like Dax as part of my like that was mostly based on memories.
Right.
And then I rewatched the episodes where her and Worf are dating, and
Yes.
they're an awful couple,
Yep.
and maybe the worst couple in all of Star Trek.
In all of Star Trek. Yeah,
Like,
that's just weird.
because people like criticize the O'Briens for having a dysfunctional
Oh
marriage,
yeah.
which true, they do have a basically a sitcom marriage,
Mm-hmm.
but like they seem to at least have some shit in common.
Yeah.
Like,
Whereas Dax and
whereas
Worf do not.
Dax and Worf, like, um, Dax frequently makes fun of the shit that Worf cares about.
Yep.
Frequently, like, he tells her things that make him uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and she disregards them and is like, I'm not gonna change for you, which fine. Like, don't change for him, but
Yeah.
like also don't date him.
Yes.
Like,
No. Like you're not compatible, and we all know it. It's very uncomfortable. Why are you dating?
um but now that I'm in the last season, Jetsi is dead, so
Mm.
I'm now moving on to the other Dax.
Yeah. Dax 2.
Dax 2, still not a Newt.
Nope. Why not a Newt? Oh, I like that better actually. That's a better color fit. Yeah, I think this one is done now. This one has so many colors. It's a lot of colors. It's very almost vaporwave in the color palette I chose. I'm digging it though.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's a good color palette.
It is. It's just very fun. Shall I try and get another one here? Let's do the next one. Here is the family portrait. Colors on this one are not working as well for me yet, but I will sort them out. Maybe?
Oh, I also watched Lower Decks.
I want to start watching that one. I've heard it's
It's very
very good.
funny.
I've heard it's like very Star Trek, but not the Star Trek that you're used to.
Okay, I feel like it is mostly jokes about Star Trek.
Right.
It is it still kind of feels like that adult animation thing where I kind of wish maybe there was a little bit more heart to the stories.
Yeah.
Or a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
Because while the jokes did make me laugh, like some of them are a little obvious. For example, their head medical officer is a cat alien.
Right?
And sends main characters to go get something that is a family heirloom. They break it, and you have kind of the sitcom-y plot of
Yep. Oh no.
like, oh, we have to like fix it, and then it breaks worse by the end, and
Yeah.
then
And
they
they're all
dress
like,
up
oh
and
no.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like an easy sitcom plot.
Yep.
But then Cat Doctor says, "Oh, I didn't actually care about the thing.
Yeah, I was just setting
I
you up.
wanted the box."
Right. Right, because I'm a cat.
And because she's a cat, yes.
Yeah.
Like, and you instantly now know
And
what
you're
she
like,
does with the box
mm-hmm,
because she's a
mm-hmm.
cat.
She's a cat. I know where this joke is going.
And it is very funny because cats in boxes continue to be funny.
They're never not,
But
really.
but it's still like I knew where this was going as soon as she said she didn't care about what was in the box.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's gonna sit in the box.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not breaking new comedic ground here.
Yeah. And then so yeah, so like the storylines are kind of like that. It's no um it's no Venture Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, I actually like that. Hey, I figured out a color thing. I missed the whole TCAF thing that happened this past week, and then my friend caught me up on the drama. They were like, "Hey, did you catch any of that?" I was like, "Hell no." And they're like, "Are you morbidly curious?" And I was like, "Hell yes." What the fuck happened?
It was certainly interesting.
Yep. They got way too into it, and it was like devouring their life the day that everyone was losing their shit about it. But I was very happy to get the Coles Notes version.
So I think we haven't streamed since it was announced, but Seven Seas unionized.
Yeah.
Or we're
Congrats.
going to. And that's rad.
That's super rad.
And then the what's less rad is the did not recognize the union, so now it has to go
No.
to a vote. But we have a super majority, so we're gonna win that vote.
Good, good, good.
And now Seven Seas is wasting a bunch of money on union busters.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But but what's very funny is every time Seven Seas has tweeted something since it came out that they're not recognizing the union.
Yeah.
Someone goes, "Great, but you should recognize your union."
Good. Good.
Like literally it's like, here's a new manga. This looks
Good.
cool, but you know what also would be cool is if you
You know what is cool?
recognized your union.
Recognizing unions.
Yeah.
What if I got
And just for
isekai'd into a
that,
world where you recognize the union?
so that's very fun.
Good.
And I'm gonna have little buttons to give out to people who support the union.
Oh, nice.
At San
At
Diego
San
Comic
Diego?
Con.
Nice.
They're going to be little buttons of the pirate cats
Oh, good.
mascots that our union has.
Hell yeah. Because Seven Seas.
Their names are Bartholomew and Nicola.
Good.
So
Good. I'm here for that level of cat pun.
yeah, they're named after famous union people.
Good.
Uh,
Unions. Very important, y'all.
they're good.
They're good. They're why we have weekends and like, or had reasonable pay. No longer.
And they're why child labor is illegal.
Yeah, so that's very good.
I like the color palette you're using on all your characters in here and their cheeks and eye makeup.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's sort of a stylistic thing where I've just like highlighted all their cheekbones with a color to emphasize the cheekbones.
Looks good.
And then everything is going to be real technicolor.
Good.
This kid needs a yellow shirt. There's not enough yellow in this picture yet. Nope, too much yellow. There. We are getting close to San Diego and that whole
Do we know where we're sending things yet?
yeah. So I thought I had everything signed up with them, and then they were just waiting. I was just waiting for their confirmation, and then yesterday they were like, "Oh hey," because I was like, "So what's the holdup? Can I start sending stuff yet?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you. You need to get this notarized." And I was like, what? Why do I need to get my sign up form notarized?" And they're like, "'Cause you're Canadian." I'm like, "Oh okay, but I gave you my U.S. address. Like, does that count?" And they're like, "No." So now I have to go to a notary public and just get them to sign off on it. So that's annoying.
Yeah.
But that was the big holdup. Was that I was just like, "Y'all, can you confirm me yet?" No. What's why? And they couldn't tell me why. And then they finally got a manager to be like, "Oh yeah, they just need to get this signed." And I'm like, "Okay, well that I could have you could have told me that a week ago."
Yeah, you could have told me that a week.
There's
Yeah,
a notary public up the street. I just need to go there. It's really easy. But I need to know I need to do it first.
I might look at how much checked luggage costs because I think it is cutting it close sending it media mail.
Mm,
Uh,
might
and
be.
I think um Alaska lets me check a bazillion bags. They're just expensive, but they might oddly enough still be cheaper than going through the post office.
Yeah.
I also don't know how much shit to bring.
Yeah, me neither. I just put in my t-shirt order and I was like, I have to do this weird math because the shirts that I'm ordering for San Diego are also the shirts that I'm ordering for Gen Con and Emerald City. But I'm getting them to send only some of the shirts actually to San Diego and then the rest of them to Indianapolis for Gen Con. So I had to do this thing of like, how many do I think I can sell at San Diego? Because I don't want to have to ship too many on from San Diego to Gen Con, but I do need to ship some. And then anything that doesn't sell at both of the shows will be shipped from Indy to Seattle for Emerald City. Because all of these shows are happening in like a month, like within a month of each
Yeah,
other.
that's why Corey backed out.
Yep. I do not blame her. That is too many shows at once. I'm still doing it, but I'm crazy. And I also have not done shows in a very long time and could use that cash.
Yeah.
I got a lot of shirts that have been sitting in my warehouse for 2 years. And a high tolerance for being in public. It's not quite as draining to me as it is for a lot of other creators. Especially Gen Con. Gen Con's a really fun show to do. I can like go play board games in the evening, and I like that.
I would be too exhausted.
Mm.
I would just be like, nope, I'm out.
Especially after the whole circuit of Gen Con San Diego. All that.
I'm just like, oh, I'm dying, Squirtle.
Yep. We did a fun thing at their Emerald City earlier this year where we were like, I had the great idea of like, so since we're going to be at a con all day and like we don't know how Omicron is going to be or not, so let's bring spare clothing and like we'll all shower off when we get home and then have like comfy at home clothes for at the Airbnb. And man, did that ever make the convention experience nice. I've never done that before, but like coming home after a con or coming to the Airbnb after a con and showering off just makes you feel so refreshed.
I understand why we have an Airbnb for San Diego because it's a clusterfuck of getting hotels is impossible. But I do like hotels because they are consistent.
Yeah.
Airbnb weirds me out a little bit.
They are weird. You can have some weird
I
experiences at an
also
Airbnb.
also because I'm now working out on a regular basis, like most hotels have a gym.
Yep. And that's nice.
So I can continue Operation Get Swole.
Yep. This one will have a pool, so I'm hoping to do some laps after a long day at a show. And I may find that I prefer swimming to showering, especially since I'll have to shower after to just get the chlorine off. And I might just be like, I'm coming home from this long day at the con. I'm just going to throw myself in the pool now. Except if it's my night to cook. Then I'll just shower and then cook. But being able to eat food that you cook instead of like having to go to a restaurant every night, so good, so much cheaper, so much better for your health.
I mean, part of going to conventions is I want to eat out, so
Yeah.
I might just get takeout anyway.
Yeah. I did that a couple times at Emerald City because there was one night that I was like, look, y'all, I need some sushi.
I will say there's a place that we should go to. While we're in San Diego. There's a bar called Werewolf.
Oh, good.
And it is covered in werewolf things.
Love it.
And while it is a bar that does make it noisy and obnoxious at night, but it is a brunch diner situation in the morning.
Ooh.
So,
are you staying an extra day? I am because I need to ship stuff out. But like, I got no plans
I haven't bought my
Monday
tickets
morning
yet. But I haven't bought my tickets yet. So one time, I tried to leave Sunday evening.
Yeah.
And got stuck in the airport overnight.
No.
Because the airport
closes. Yes.
At 11 p.m.
Yes.
So if you have a late night flight and it gets delayed,
You are
Um,
kicked out on the street.
you are kicked out. Yes.
Yes, I know that because Jenny got stuck at San Diego one year. She was like on standby, and she's like, "It's fine. I'll just go to the airport. It's fine. I'll sleep there." And then they kicked her out on the street, and she's like, "Now I'm
Yeah.
standing in the middle of the street with all my con shit, and it's like 1 in the morning."
So, so yeah, so, um, our Airbnb's for Sunday night too, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay. So yeah, so, I'll probably leave Monday afternoon
yeah,
because gotta ship shit back.
yeah. That's why we're leaving. Like we're like, okay, Monday is for shipping things, and then we'll fly out in the
Yeah.
evening.
So I'll pick a flight that's like 6 or something.
Cool.
Do you already have your flight?
Not yet. We were just
Okay.
coordinating that today, so I'm
Um,
probably gonna book it like tomorrow.
okay, let me know when your flight leaves because maybe we can also go to the airport together.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We'll all pay for one Uber or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The end of the month, I'm going to Minneapolis
Hey.
because it is Blue Del Quanti's wedding.
Oh, right. Cool, cool,
That'll be
cool.
fun. I've never been to Minneapolis. I'll go to the Mall of America,
Did you see the thing Spike posted today
the
that was like,
temple of capitalism.
yep. It's like here are the worst things in each state. I didn't agree with
Yes, I did
Arizona.
see that.
The Grand Canyon is genuinely amazing, and everyone should see it. Um, but I did agree with New Orleans because I was like, Bourbon Street is the least interesting thing about the French Quarter. Literally
Bourbon
go
Street is
anywhere
great
else.
for alcoholic.
Yeah. And if you're not, it's really boring and bad, and just don't bother. Like literally, all the rest of downtown of the French Quarter is just so good. I think when we were there, we went through Bourbon Street once just to say that we'd seen it, and then we were like, "Yeah, this sucks. Let's go back to Jackson Square and like wander around the
It's
waterfront."
like, okay, so it's one of those things where, like, if you're not into very specific things, as much fun as people claim different places are, like,
Yeah,
if you're not into their very specific thing,
it's not
it's
fun.
like,
Yeah,
why are you here?
yeah.
When I was a teenager, um, my family took a trip to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And in hindsight, it's like,
Why did we do
why?
this? Yeah.
Because as a teenager, I can't do any of the things that
Yep.
Las Vegas wants people to do.
Yep.
Um,
My sister got dragged on a trip like that with my mom and aunt as well, and was like, "This, why? Why are we here? I guess I'll just sit in this hotel room while you go off and do things."
I did um, jokingly suggest that my parents order my older brother a prostitute. Um, and their reactions to me making that joke, I feel like are a good summarization of both of my parents.
Okay.
My mom reacted with pearl clutching no.
Ah.
Absolutely not. How dare. And then my dad very calmly said, too expensive.
Good. Good. I have never been, and I didn't think I wanted to, and I maybe don't want to now that it's COVID. But before, my partner was like, "No, no, 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 no. I know you're not into gambling and this and that, but you are into food and shows, and that is more of what Vegas is about these days. Like, there's still all the gambling. You can do all the gambling you want, which for me is zero.
Yeah.
I want zero gambling. But like, if you want the best food, go there. There's so many good restaurants, but also like the shows are really cool. I want to go see Jabberwockies. I want to go see Blue
Like,
Man
there's
Group, like all
definitely
that
some
stuff.
shows that, like, only happen in Vegas.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
and So, like, now as an adult, I would be willing to go on another trip,
Yeah.
specifically if there's, like, things I wanted to see there.
Yep.
But, like, why did you bring,
A
like,
child to
4
Vegas.
underage children to,
Sin City.
yeah, that's not the best decision.
Yeah. Not a family trip that's like, well, boy, this is one for the ages. Let's live it up. So I think I've mentioned before that I used to live in Arizona for a year. Back when my mom was doing her master's, we went and moved down there. And it was like just after Columbine. And I was like going to a school in the States, and it was weird and scary. And like we had metal detectors at school, and sometimes people would bring guns. And it was very weird as a Canadian to be in that environment. But that being said, I still have such fond memories of like being in and living in the desert that Master or Top Chef this year, their season finale took place in Tucson, and I was just like viscerally wanting to be in the desert again. I was like, oh, I miss that so much. I can smell the mesquite on the air in that shot, and I want to be there right now. So I would definitely go back, despite all the guns and the heat and the fact that they're running out of water. I don't know that I'd live there
Yeah,
again, but I want to visit it.
just bring your own water.
Yeah. And a big culture shock moment moving there when we were like on our way to go to our new house. And a man drove up beside us on a motorbike with like 2 shotguns strapped to his back. And we were like, oh, we're not in Canada anymore.
Welcome
That's
to America.
that's weird. So this is happening, I guess.
America.
Yep. But also, we lived in a really cool place that backed on to the Arroyo, and there was always javelinas like in the watershed behind our house, and it was really cool. So I got to see a lot of javelinas.
Good.
Baby javelinas are so cute.
I told you my next book starts with some of them getting it, right?
Yes. Some javelinas.
Poor little javelinas getting it.
Getting edited.
A thing that I appreciated while watching American Werewolf in London for the first time
Mm.
is there's the part where they're like walking in the moors and there's a howl,
Oh yeah.
and one of the, because they're Americans, one of them instinctively goes, "Is that a coyote?" And his friend goes, "There aren't coyotes in England."
Yes.
Like,
No. That's very good.
yeah.
That's a very American response to be like, yeah, coyotes. We got those everywhere.
I
We
mean,
also
Houston
heard the
spook
coyotes.
because they're in the middle of the one wilderness.
Yes.
But it's like, it's a good, like, good attention to detail dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Because I feel like that doesn't happen in werewolf movies set in America. Is like, because if
Yeah.
someone came in and said they were bitten by a wolf,
You'd be like, you mean a
um,
coyote?
yeah, like I feel like because the doctor
Like, there's not bitten by a
like in
wolf.
Wolf Jack Nicholson, like he
Yeah.
suggests a dog, and he's like,
Yeah.
no, it was a wolf, and it's like coyote is the more logical like
And so,
explanation.
yeah. Like, oh, no, no, no. And people see coyotes, and they can be quite large. And there are wolves with, like,
Especially if
basic
it's,
coyote
like, in an
coloring.
area especially if it's in an area where wolves used to live,
Yes, because they've got some of the genetics
coyotes are
of
bigger
wolves.
there.
And they've
And they
gotten
also,
larger.
bred to be big, like, evolution made them bigger to fill that niche that
Yup.
wasn't getting filled anymore.
Yup. It's another wolf-sized. Or at least getting there.
They're wolf-sized in certain areas. They're still coyote-sized in, the
Others.
Southwest because
Yeah.
they didn't really have wolves,
And
but,
here in Canada, we got little guys, because we also have wolves and bears. Have you ever seen a moose in person?
no, but, several of my uncles have, and one
Yeah.
of them was almost killed by a moose.
Yeah, they are
They're
way
they're
bigger
they're
than you
big.
think. They are much bigger than you think.
Oh, I do know how big they are.
Yeah,
Like,
they're like megafauna. They are large.
yeah,
They're some big boys.
they're big.
They're real big.
Yeah. I have an uncle that's obsessed with mooses.
Oh, cool.
Like whenever him and my aunt like are gonna go away, he's like, "Let's go to Maine, so I can see a moose."
Good. Good. I like his dedication to seeing cool, weird animals.
Just mooses. He doesn't give a
Just
shit about
moose.
any other animals. Just
Just a
mooses.
moose.
Um, and he takes like professional photos of all like the sports teams in my hometown,
Oh,
like
cool.
the high school sports teams.
Yeah.
So this is all his professional camera equipment, and has definitely taken many a moose picture
Oh, hell yeah.
with his like action lenses and
Good.
like all mooses all the time.
Excellent. Same thing with buffalo. They're bigger than most people think. They're like, oh, they're like cows, right? And you're like, no, you could fit a cow inside a buffalo. They are large.
They're also delicious.
They are large, and if you come near them, they will launch you into the air and kill you without breaking a sweat.
I remember my aunt took a cross country trip with my cousin, who is not her child, so it's her nephew.
Mm.
Um, and they stopped in Yellowstone, and my cousin was like, "I'm gonna get closer to the buffalo."
It's like, oh, hell no.
And my aunt was like, "I got the keys, right?" And he's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Okay, go ahead."
If you die, I at least have the keys and I can drive us out of here.
Yeah, I have the keys and can get out of here.
You do whatever you're gonna do. I think this is also looking better now. I think that's closer to what I wanted. Again, I gotta harmonize these colors, but I think I'm liking that.
Well, I finished the page I was working on, which
Cool.
is Connor kicking Maria out of his house.
Good.
Or more pulling her and literally throwing her out of his house. Lena, why isn't Dax and Newt?
I don't know. Poor choices on everybody's part.
Yeah.
They could have gone
Dax
cool,
should be
and they
in.
went, nah.
Dax should be in Newt.
Yep. Hard agree.
What's very funny is I was talking to Melanie Gilman about Star Trek.
Good.
And Melanie Gilman has not seen Star Trek.
Oh.
And was told to check out a Star Trek that Melanie did not like.
Mm.
And they thought it was Voyager that was recommended to them.
Ah.
And then Blue and I were
Like,
well,
no.
Voyager, that is not a good one.
No.
Um,
That's the wrong
and
Star
then
Trek.
and then Blue said their experience watching Voyager was the weird episode where they turn into newts.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
which we then had to explain, and Camilla was like, I think maybe I was shown the wrong episode, because if I saw that episode, maybe I would have stuck around.
I would be in for that. Everybody's a newt now.
Everyone turning into newts.
It's good.
Because they went too fast.
They went too fast, now they're all newts. Occasionally,
Now they're newts.
Tuvok and
Then
Neelix are
they
the same
escaped
dude.
and they turn into newts, and then they escaped and had babies on another planet, and then abandoned their young on that
Yes.
planet.
Yes. They're weird newt babies.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm happy with that one now. Maybe one more color layer. Maybe. Let's futz around with this, see how I like it. Nope. I think that works.
You know what I think's very funny is that Michael Jackson did music for the Sonic games.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think it's Sonic 2. And it's like, once it was pointed out to me, it's like, oh yeah, that is definitely like a Michael Jackson beat.
Right.
It's like, I think it's the Carnival Zone.
Oh, right. Yes. I think I remember Sam telling me about this. So Sam Logan and I went on a road trip to Edmonton together, Edmonton Expo, for the show. And the entire time he was like, hey, I hope you like Sonic music. And I was like, I do like Sonic music. And he's like, great, because I have like 20 hours of it. And let's listen to it. And I was like, I'm in, let's go. And then he's like full of Sonic trivia, because of course he is. And I think there was one on there that he was like, do you know who wrote the song? And I was like, no, but it sounds super familiar. And he was like, this is Michael Jackson. And like he didn't make a big deal of it. He didn't like the game didn't
It
sell
was
like
Sonic
hey,
3, and
Sonic 3.
I think it wasn't like super advertised because it was around the time
Yeah.
when the rumors about him started.
Yeah, and so they didn't sell the game as be like, hey, this has got Michael Jackson's music in it. It was just like, just there. It was just a thing to discover later. I also got to hear the Knuckles rap, which is very good. And by very good, I mean very bad and cheesy, but hilarious and perfect.
I like that Amanda keeps threatening to make a video that is about Sega has always wanted Sonic to fuck a human woman.
Yes. Yes.
And here is my evidence.
Yep. I saw her post about like a little bit of her evidence on that, and she's like, "Oh, I've got more. There's more where that came from."
Yeah.
And I was like, I am fascinated, and I want to hear more about this, please. I was just subscribed to your zine, your weird Sonic fuck zine.
She's like, I'll pop in and make one YouTube video and then never make another YouTube video again.
Yep. But that YouTube video will be the best.
Yeah. That YouTube video will be Sega wants Sonic to fuck a human woman.
Isn't there like concept art of Princess Sally where she's a human before they decided that she was a
It's not
squirrel?
Princess Sally. It's a different like princess.
Yeah. But like same deal. Well, a lot of humans want to fuck Sonic. It's just fair play that they want him to fuck a human, I guess.
Do people want to fuck Sonic specifically? Because I feel
Oh,
like
yes.
I rarely see Sonic, but I see like his ensemble.
Maybe? Maybe they're hot for all the little furry
Because
people.
they're definitely hot for like Amy Rose and Sally
Yeah.
and all the girls.
Yeah.
And then I've definitely seen some like the sexy like Knuckles and like
Yep.
Tails and like I feel like I don't see Sonic all that much in the like
There's
who the
gotta
fans
be.
want to sex up.
There's
I mean,
gotta be.
it definitely exists. I'm just saying
He's a
like
cool
I
guy and
feel
he eats
like
chili dogs.
I just feel like I've seen more of all the other male Sonic characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's the least popular among his ensemble cast.
I would laugh if there is more Big the Cat porn than Sonic porn.
I mean, there's definitely some porn of that skunk fucking Princess Sally.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. 100%. I haven't seen porn of Sonic, but I have seen all the weird Christian art of Sonic that Dave Willis likes to post.
Yeah, see, I see more of that than I see of
like actual porn.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to live in a timeline where I have not yet stumbled across any pictures of Sonic's dick. And I maybe cursed myself by saying that, but
you know they're out there.
I know they're
I'm
out
sure
there.
Sam can send them to you.
Oh God. No, Sam. Please. I'm sure it's an occupational hazard of his where he's just like, I'm going to research this obscure Sonic fact. Oops, there's another Sonic dick. All right. Moving on to another webpage.
I remember when the bad Sonic design was revealed, and everyone was talking about how bad it was.
Yep.
And I asked
It's
Sam,
real freaky.
Do you think Sonic would be better if they gave him realistic hedgehog teeth?
Those good chompers.
And after showing Sam what hedgehog teeth look like,
yes,
he's like, that would be better than the weird semi-human
Human
teeth
teeth,
that he has
like
now.
one of those reef fish that have human-like teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have hedgehogs, and I know that they have good little chompers. Just they can give you a real good bite if they want to.
They're like tiny little sharp teeth.
Yeah, 'cause they eat bugs. They got little tiny predator teeth.
Yeah. They gotta like chomp through those crunchy bugs.
Yeah, and I just fed them on cat food, because that gives them good protein, and so they could crunch through their little crunchies. Real good. They'd almost never do it when I was in there, though. You'd just hear them from the other room, and then you'd hear this like quiet, like crunch, 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 crunch. You know that they were eaten. Lovely little critters, but not very personable, and owning them is sort of like just being a zookeeper. You're like, yes, I will maintain your habitat, and like look at you occasionally when you were out, but you don't come out very often, except to run on your wheel. So I will just kind of be aware of you. You're here. You have your own thing. You definitely don't like to cuddle. Very hands-off pets.
I mean, they are very pointy.
Yeah, I mean, when you could cuddle them, they're very lovely. Like they got a soft little belly. Little soft fuzzies. And Hazel, my one hedgehog, she liked to come and like sleep on my hand because it was warm. And so I got to feel her little fuzzy belly.
Spike, Amanda, and I restarted what used to be Dirty Old Ladies and is now going to be the Iron Circus Geek Show.
Oh, I noticed. I saw the promo
Um,
photos Amanda posted for those. They look awesome.
and someone in it, because I mentioned that we're doing our Tuesday art streams,
Cool.
and someone in it was like, "Oh, I watched Trash Heroes. I keep waiting for someone from the Iron Circus crew to be a guest on Trash
Yes.
Heroes."
Hell
So
yes. Y'all got an invite if anytime you want it.
um, I will remake the one D&D character I have ever played,
Rad.
which is a dragonborn bard named Zephyr,
Good.
who is a teen that's excited to be there.
Good. I love them already.
I
I
I
think.
don't know what Zephyr would do with your trash heroes,
Oh no,
but
Lane will come up with that. Our next one, our guest that we're gonna have is Jam. Jam Malik.
mhm.
So they are going to be on in a couple weeks, and I'm very excited to see what they are playing. But yeah, we have no guests lined up after that, and it would be cool to have you guys on. But Lane's really good at
I
being like,
don't think
here's how I'm going to write your character into the story, so you don't have to worry about
I
like, what's
don't
my
think
motivation?
I don't think Spike is much of a role play
D&D.
person.
Ah,
It's more
you
Matt's
and him.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, Matt runs a game that Amanda's a part of.
Oh, is it the one where she's those cool weasel dragons?
Yeah.
Good. I love that design so
Um,
much.
and I'm not a huge fan of D&D because I think the fighting is
Yeah.
slightly tedious.
Agreed.
But
I'm in
uh,
full agreement on this.
but I'm down for a guest appearance.
Yeah. It's fun. Like it's not we're not so much about the fighting.
Yeah.
Or if we are, it's all ridiculous. Like this past game, the three caballeros jumped us, and so my character spent most of that fight like strangling Donald Duck, which was very fun. To be fair, he started it. My character's a big sweetheart, and she doesn't want to hurt anybody, but she's a fighter, so she's very good at it.
I remember while I was playing, one of the things that I thought was the funnest part of being Zephyr is
That's good.
one of the other characters, like, was trying to remember if colored dragons or metallic dragons, like what ones do what.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, asked for clarification, so that the colored ones are evil and the metallic ones are good, right?
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, the DM was like, yes, but your character is a colored dragon. I'm like, I know, I just need that clarification so I can put it into Zephyr language.
Right.
And so Teen Zephyr said, colored dragons are rad and cool and
Yeah.
know how to do cool shit.
Yeah.
And metallic ones are lame and boring.
Good. Good. Perfect. One of those legacy problems of D&D where it's like, so some people are just evil? Is what we're supposed to take away from this? That's a problem. That's maybe not something we should be writing into games. We should fix this whole alignment system.
So Zephyr was a blue dragon,
Good.
and
Got that good
I,
lightning
I
breath.
had as their goal was they're trying to get an electric guitar.
Oh, good. Perfect.
So if you want to convey that to Lane
Oh, yeah.
and somehow get that into
Hell yes. I mean,
Teen Dragonborn
I'm sure he's already got a way to do that.
trying to invent an electric guitar.
Good. Currently, we are near the Dragonborn Islands, and the country that we're in is at war with the dragons. So, like, there's good reason to have dragons about.
Good.
Well, I think that is enough drawing for me for one evening. My coloring hand's starting to cramp up because I did a fair amount of coloring earlier today.
All right. Thanks everyone for popping by. Once again, I'm Kel. I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com.
And I am Alina Pete, and I make comics you can read at alinapete.com or weargeek.com. Thanks for hanging out. That was good chatting today.
We stream whenever we can on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So that's most Tuesdays, but sometimes one of us out of town.
Exactly.
I
It's going to be a
also
thing over the
stream
summer.
art on Wednesdays with my buddy Joe. So if you want to see me draw some more, pop by tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Cool. All right.
And
Good chatting with you.
when's Trash Heroes?
Trash Heroes is on the 18th this month. Saturday the 18th at 3 p.m. PST.
So go watch some D&Ds on
Yeah.
Alina's stream.
Some good
On the
D&Ds.
18th. Later.
Bye.
Bye.